Good afternoon. I'm starting the month off with a project that I showed my Stamp Club ladies last month. So thought I'd share it with you as well because it's a really cool idea if you want to fit an extra layer into your card. So I'm going to switch you around so that you can see my workspace, and I'll move my light as well. Got a bit of a bird's eye view of what's going on. That's it. Okay, so we are using the painted lavender stamp set and some of the beautiful paper that coordinates with. Now these are still available in the online store. You'll notice that even though there's a few things that aren't in the current catalogues, you can still get them in the online store. So your best port of call if you want to see all of the beautiful products that are available right now, and you want to get a minute by minute blow of their availability as they become available, as they sell out, etc., etc. All you need to do is go to the online store and do a search in my store, either by item code or by name. So if you punch in painted lavender, you'll still see that this is available as an online exclusive item. So that's what we're playing with today to decorate our little card. But the most important part of this project is actually the construction of the card. So the first thing I need to share with you is that I am using a 12 by 12 piece that's been cut down to 12 by 4 inches. So I've actually used the inches as opposed to centimeters because I wanted to get 4 of these out of a sheet. So it's 12 by 4 inches, and we're going to now work in centimeters because, you know, I like switching between the two just to keep you on your toes. But it's easy to do because, you know, on our trimmer we have both, right? We've got inches and we've got centimeters. So we're going to, first of all, just at the 6-inch mark, okay, so we're still in inches here, using the scoring blade, which is this one, so don't accidentally use your cutting blade and cut your piece in half. Oops, I nearly did. So that's your scoring blade, and you actually want to score it at the halfway mark because remember this is 12 inches, so we're scoring at 6 inches and we're folding it like that. So you've got a middle score line. And now we're going to switch to centimeters. So either side of that score line, you're going to go to the 1 centimeter mark. So you take it up to that 1 and score your fold line there. And again, take the middle one up to the 1 here and score your fold line here. Now, we're not quite finished. So basically you've got your your 1 in the middle and your 2 score lines either side. I don't know if you can see that clearly. Can you see those 3 lines? So now what we want to do is make a score line 1 centimeter to the left, so the left, and 1 centimeter to the right of these outside lines. So again, going to do the same thing, take that up to the 1, last one you did, and score, and then take this one up to the 1 and score like that. So there are all of your lines all ready to go. And so what you're going to do is pleat them like this. Oops, this way. And then this way. You're basically making a W shape in the middle of your card. And I'll show you what I mean. So there are all your pleats on the side. Oh, excuse me. And there's your W. So that's how you know you've done it correctly. If you're looking at it sideways or that way towards the top. And also on the inside, you'll notice that there is an extra little section where you're going to be able to glue a piece of extra card. Now the extra card that I have got here is actually 12 centimeters by 9.5 centimetres. And that is going to go perfectly inside your piece that you have just scored like that. So that ends up becoming the extra piece inside your card. We're going to stamp on it first because I like things to be decorated on the inside as well as the outside. And then we're going to cut with some dies a couple of other elements that are going to go on the front. So let me just put my trimmer to the side. So before you assemble your card, you're going to want to stamp the inside piece, which is this piece here. And I've got some of the painted lavender stamps. I'm going to use this beautiful one here for the inside and some of the butterflies. And for the outside piece, we're going to cut some deckled circles and we're going to stamp some of the branches and the flowers as well, just to add a bit of interest to the outside. So here is my my fronds, if you like. I'm going to use the Lost Lagoon, which picks up the colours in this beautiful painted lavender designer series paper. And Lost Lagoon is one of those lovely bluey green colours. It's not quite green and it's not quite blue, but it just looks gorgeous paired with the purples and the neutrals that are in this paper. So I'm just stamping it along. You won't quite get 3 full stamps there, but that it kind of looks like a continuous pattern then. It looks like I've just used 1 stamp, but I haven't. Sorry, I have used 1 stamp, but I've used it 3 times. And now we're going to grab our little butterflies. So these are from the Painted Lavender stamp set, and you'll find them there. And we're going to do a little bit of a trick with these using 2 different purples. So I've got my Gorgeous Grape, which is the darker one, and my Highland Heather, which is the lighter one. So what I'm going to do is go in the lighter purple, the Highland Heather, and just get some of that on my butterflies. And then I'm just going to roll the edges of my butterflies in the Gorgeous Grape. And you'll end up with a beautiful 2-tone effect on your stamp. So that little technique is called rock and roll. You've probably seen me do it millions of times, but it's just a nice way to add a little bit of interest. If you've got a couple of different versions of the same colour, it's a great way to use that. Right, I'll leave that one open. So that's the inside of my card. Now what you'll want to do is, hi Jennifer, good to see you. You'll want to just get a little bit of your glue and apply it to the inside. Actually, you want to take it all the way up, almost to the end. Actually, all the way to the end, sorry, because we want to close these ends. Even though, the paper is actually not reaching the full width of the full length of the inside pleat, we actually want to seal these 2 ends. So make sure, I don't know if you can see where I'm applying my glue, make sure you've got a few little dots of glue. You don't want to put too much because you don't want it oozing, so that we can actually close it off properly at the end. Hi Amanda, good to see you too. Thanks for joining, ladies. All right, so I'm going to just put that in there and then I will hold that closed just so the glue has a little bit of a chance to take. With this glue, it's very strong, the Tombow multi-purpose adhesive, but it is wet when you apply it, so you will definitely need to hold it there for a couple of seconds at least while the glue has time to activate. And once it is dried, it will last forever. It is such a great adhesive. It's actually designed to stick wood together as well because it's a latex-based glue, so it's not water-based. It's latex-based and it will dry very strong. Okay, so we've just applied glue to that inside pleat, and there is our 3rd section of our card. So these cards are great if you have extra people that you, or an extra little message that you want to write in a card. You may want to add like a little gift card or something like that. It just provides you with more options for personalising your card on the inside. Now what we need to do for the outside, because we've got these two pleats that are still there, we need to grab our glue again, our Tombow, and we're going to apply to the inside of each of these pleats as well. Might do them one at a time. And if you've got a spare little bit of designer series paper that's a scrap bit of paper, or even one of your a corner of one of your scrap paper, your grid paper that you're working with, if you get any glue that oozes out, you can just kind of wipe it off like that, so that you're not getting too much glue on your work surface or elsewhere. Okay, so there is my ends just stuck together, so it will become a card that is, it looks like just one card without the pleats once it's all stuck together. But the pleats serve a purpose for holding your little butterfly and branches inside the card for some extra, writing area or stamping area, whatever you prefer. So there it is inside. I'm just holding it together to keep it adhering. That's pretty good. Okay, so my card is ready now to decorate. What I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to apply the lavender designer series paper onto the outside. So that will provide a nice background to the features that I'm going to add to the card in a second. So just a little bit of glue. A little bit of this glue goes a long way. Tombow multi-purpose adhesive. Just make sure that's all straight. If you're finding that your card gets a little bit crooked, just grab one of your bone folders and make sure those fold lines are nice and crisp, and you'll find everything kind of straightens up again. So there's my front, my card front. Now I've got a couple of bits of cardstock and a couple of bits of the designer series paper. So this is the plainer side of the lavender paper. I've got some of the purple and some of the Lost Lagoon. I've got a smaller piece of basic white and a strip of basic white, which we're going to use to add a greeting at the end. So what I'm going to do is run all of these three, through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and cut them all out at once. And then I'll be able to stamp on them. So I'm going to put this one the other way. Good thing is, if you're right-handed, you can actually use this. If you're right-handed or left-handed, you can flip it around. I'm right-handed. Let's see if this all fits on. I think it does. Pretty sure it does. So there's my circle. These are the deckled circles, by the way. They come in a large pack, I think of about 12 dies, all the same shape, but different sizes. So they're perfect for layering one smaller one on top of a larger one, which is what I'm going to be doing. You could use them for telescope cards, but they're just great for layering in all different ways. So here we go, all my cutting's done at once. And I'll put all my dies over there so I don't lose them. And this little one, this little tag or banner is from the Happy Little Things dies. And it's two cute little dies that are perfect for making little flags or banners or stamping a greeting onto when you don't want the greeting to take up too much real estate on your card. Because this card has ended up being a little bit smaller than a normal size card or a C6 envelope size card, I am not wanting to take up too much of the real estate. So that's perfect. All right, so now for some stamping, I'm going to use my Lost Lagoon again. So let me bring that in. And I've got these lovely branches here, which are from the Painted Lavender stamp set. So I'm just going to stamp the branches there. And then I've got some of these flowers, which you'll notice you can actually use either lengthways, like that way, or you can turn them around, spin them around and use them horizontally like that. I'm going to use them horizontally because I actually want to have a little bit more flowers at the top there, just to fill in that white space. So I'm going to stamp them in that spot up there, and it looks like you've got quite a large bouquet of flowers. I might even choose to stamp them again, just to give it a bit more of a light and shade. Can you see there's a bit of movement now? It looks like you've got some paler flowers and some darker flowers. That's filled out that space. So don't be afraid of stamping again without re-inking. If you've got a reasonably dark ink pad or a mid darkness ink pad, you can get several shades out of the one ink pad and create that really cool effect. All right, I'm going to just add a little bit of ink actually around the outside. I'm looking for my, here we go, here's my sponge dauber. And I'm using a really soft colour. This is the basic beige, and I'm just going around the circle. This is going to accentuate the decals on the circle, but also just gives a little bit of a shadow around the outside of my image. And yeah, it will help it to stand out on the card, I think, a little bit better. So that's a lovely soft colour if you're looking for not quite a vanilla colour and not quite a brown colour. It's sort of in between. Basic beige is great for shadow stamping, great for really subtle backgrounds as well. The cardstock is gorgeous too, so make sure you get that when you order your basic beige. It's one of our new colours that came out last year, I think, fairly recently. All right, so I've just applied a little tiny bit of Tombow glue to the background, to the back of that, and you can see how now we've got the purple around it. It really pops that image. All right, I'm going to add a couple of dimensionals to the back of this, just so it stands out even more. Because it's a fairly busy background, I didn't want it to fade too much into the background of my card. And then I've got this little strip. Sometimes when you're cutting your designer series paper, you end up with a little odd shapes and strips like this. So don't throw them out. What you can do is, because they're coordinating with the designer series paper that you're using, you can just add a little accent to the front or the inside of your card even, like that. And it's going to coordinate beautifully with your designer series paper, but also it's going to help ground my greeting, which I will add in a second. So my greeting strip has already been cut. I've used the Happy Little Things dies, and one of the greetings, I can't remember where this is from actually. It says, "You made my day." I'm not sure which stamp set it's from. If you know, let me know, because I've forgotten. I've just had it sitting on my craft desk for a little while. I'm going to use the green because I really like that Lost Lagoon colour. I'm going to stamp it across there, and it fits perfectly. I'll try and remember which stamp set that's from, and I will pop it underneath my YouTube video. Once I upload this to YouTube, it will be in the ingredients section on my YouTube video, so you'll be able to look it up as well. All right, a little bit of glue on the back, and that just goes so that, I guess, you're putting at the bottom of that strip at the midway point at either end of those bows. And that really does help to center that and ground that, that little greeting there. Here's one I prepared earlier, looking slightly different. I have added a little piece of our gorgeous linen thread to the inside, so you'll see you can see that just inside that front the front flap of the card, and here are all the other parts that are inside the card. I've also used the purple instead of the green, so you can sort of see the difference. You could even exchange that for some purple background. It's a purple designer series paper instead of the green if you want to contrast it. But that's a card that I actually had in my collection of swaps from one of the events that I went to maybe a year or so ago with Stampin' Up, and I keep all of my swaps because sometimes you find a card design that you can use and make your own. You can change out the stamps, change the colours, but the basic design is what has given you the inspiration for your card. So that is where this came from. And, you know, if you see something that you like, you can always change it to suit your style or to suit the person that you're going to be giving the item to. You can really make it look very different, just starting off with a similar design that somebody has already come up with. So thank you to whoever, I'm not sure who came up with this idea, but I love the feeling of how this card keeps opening, and it's a really sturdy card as well. So again, if you wanted to even use it as a little mini album, you could have photos in there. You could make more pleats, work out how to do an album that's got even more pleats in it, and make it a little mini brag book if you wanted to. But it turns out really nice and neat on the edges. And yeah, I really like the feel of that substantial the little pleat section that you add that extra flap to. It's really cool. I hope you have a chance to play with this technique at home. As I said, I'm going to put all of the ingredients that I used in down the bottom of my YouTube video when I posted it on YouTube, so that you'll see. I'll try and remember to put the measurements in as well. And you can have a go at home. I hope you enjoyed that today, guys, and thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us live. If you don't catch it live, you can catch it here later. It'll be left up for a short time on Facebook and permanently on YouTube, as I said. So make sure you're following me there as well. Thanks for watching, guys.